Okay, real quick, just a couple of things, just reminders as you go through. Number one, keep your product shaken. Okay, you'll know it needs to be shaken if you see kind of like an oil on top. Just shake it like this every now and then. The other thing I'd tell you is your microfibers. As you're removing oxidation, you'll see dirt come off. Not necessarily like a surface like this one is fairly clean. So you want to be sure to wash the RV first, get any dirt out of there that you don't need to be messing with, and microfiber towels. The other thing you want to do is you're using your pad when you're done. Put it in a plastic bag. This will keep it clean and keep it from being contaminated. It'll make your pad last longer. The other thing when you're doing oxidation, it's a little bit different than working with a clean surface like this. It's when you're working with those pads. Let me grab this pad. If it gums up and it gets a lot of dirt and you rub it like this and you get a lot of dirt coming out of it, it's probably time to replace the pad. And I know on a clean surface, they'll tell you can use these pads till they disintegrate. And that is true when you're working with a relatively clean surface. But these oxidized RVs, what you got to think about is what's removing this is a combination of the product and the heat. So when you're heating this thing up, it's getting into the pores and lifting the oxidation out, but it's also putting product in to seal it off for the future. So you just don't want to be in a place where you're taking a dirty pad and you're constantly heating it up and grinding it in. We've made that mistake before, and what happens is you just don't get as good a look and shine as you would be if you're using a clean pad. So always use a clean pad. The other thing is a black finishing pad is what we found works best. Now we've got the flat ones, we've got the ones that have the honeycomb. Both work very well. It's kind of a personal preference, but a black pad works well. 2000, this is 6, goes up to 6. We put it on 2. This is the Chicago out of Harbor Freight, very cheap buffer, but we do about 2000 if I'm on a bad surface and I need a little heat. Very seldom if I had to go over the 2500, 3000 range on the speed. You don't need a lot of product. Once you get it done, 3 drops, put it on, and you'll know when the pad needs more product because it just won't move as easily across the surface. The other thing I want you to think about that's very important when you're doing this, okay? When you're applying it and you're going back and forth, you don't have to put a lot of pressure on it. It's better to let the buffer do the work for you, okay? Because you don't want to press in and put a lot of pressure on it because that might put too much onto the gel coat, okay? Just let the buffer do the work and don't wear yourself out. And that's about it. It's pretty simple as long as you follow those instructions. But again, if you have any questions, reach out to your agent or reach out to us at Climate Shield, and we appreciate it, and I think you're going to enjoy working with this product.